Hi friends, welcome back to Let's YouTube channel where we cover the fun products, tech or otherwise, you can add to your daily life. I'm Nicole and I'm back with another Samsung phone announcement. This time we're going to talk about the big boss of the S23 line, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. But we're not going to be all about business here. I'd actually want to talk to you about the fun sides of this flagship smartphone. Samsung's dubbed the S23 Ultra as a life maximizer. And what is a maximized life if you're not having fun living it? Am I right? Aside from that though, I would also still be talking to you about my initial impressions of the phone and even give you a little sneak peek at some of the cases you can get for the S23 Ultra. We've done something similar with the Flip 4 in the past, which I'll link up here or in the description. But then again, you're not here for that. So let's go to the rest of the video.
We were invited by Samsung to its office ahead of today's Unpacked event to spend a few hours with the new Samsung Galaxy S23 series. I gravitated towards the new S23 Ultra immediately, but it definitely has a bit more of an incremental update feel overall than the S23 and S23 Plus. If you look closely at the new phones, the S23 and S23 Plus inherit the Ultra's floating camera design, so now the entire series has a more cohesive look. With the Samsung S23 Ultra, what you'd want to pay attention to is more on what it can do for you. Its design is still a nod to the now defunct Galaxy Note line, which is still important because the S Pen is back. Like with the S22 Ultra, this phone supports the Samsung stylus. However, the headline-grabbing changes on this flagship phone revolve around its camera and chipset. So we'll flesh those out a bit more. But we're not forgetting design, of course. I'll put a timestamp in the description so if you only have a bit of time to watch, you can get to the section you want. Samsung acknowledged what we already know, which is that people care about design. A phone's look is a factor we consider when making a smartphone purchase decision. So, a new series launch typically means design changes, or at least new color options to choose from. And yes, with the S23 series, the leaks were right about what's coming. There are 4 color options you can choose from: Phantom Black, Green, Cream, and Lavender. I'm gravitating towards the latter 2, so don't be surprised to see me sporting the lavender one for most of this video. I just couldn't put it down. But we are hoping Samsung continues the tradition of releasing more color options at the launch or even at a later date, so that we get even more choices. What got me more excited about this new series is that Samsung decided to make these colors available for the entire lineup. So if the Ultra in lavender isn't your kind of device, at least you can also get it with the S23 and the S23 Plus. But what good though is a good-looking device if it isn't a bit tough too? As someone with butterfingers, a durable smartphone is my best friend. The S23 Ultra seems to have the same dimensions as its predecessor, but with its matte finish, it doesn't feel that slippery in hand even without a case. For extra assurance though, Samsung promises that the S23 series features next-generation Gorilla Glass and the toughest armor aluminum. These phones should survive accidental drops from reasonable heights better and have improved scratch resistance than the S22 line. At least this is what Samsung claims. The company also wanted to boost its eco initiatives with this launch, so they mentioned the inclusion of recycled glass for both the front and rear, ocean-bound plastics for the S Pen inner cover and speaker module, and recycled paper packaging for these new phones. The colors and build upgrades aren't the only new things about the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. So let's talk about the performance improvements next. If you've been waiting to get your hands on a Qualcomm Snapdragon-powered Samsung flagship, I'm happy to report that the S23 series all run on the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor. That should bring perks like better graphics and power efficiency. The S23 Ultra doesn't get a larger battery like the base S23 and S23 Plus models. The focus is on giving you a longer usage time with the battery it has. Instead, Samsung talked about the larger vapor chambers in the S23 series that make this possible. This larger chamber ensures these phones heat up less, which will actually also be good for your long-term battery health. Since the Samsung Galaxy S23 runs on a flagship chipset, you're guaranteed a smooth day-to-day use with this device. But what about the cameras? Well, let's talk more about that right now. Samsung's doubling down on what it calls nightography features for both photo and video. And if you've been following the rumors, you know the star is the new 200 megapixel main rear camera sensor. Combined with improved AI features, Samsung promises you'll get the best quality photos even in the most challenging conditions. If you love going out at night, the S23 Ultra has got you with its night selfie and night portrait improvements. With the help of AI, the selfies or portraits you take at night should come out looking detailed and flattering. I can't speak about real-life use yet because we were shooting in a studio, so this is what happened when we tried to get sample shots.
With the Ultra, I'm shooting with the S23 Plus, and we need to figure out a way to test out the night mode, so goodbye.
We really tried to get you the low light stuff, but we were in a studio where it was well lit and we really couldn't turn off the light for the others. So we improvised. If you want to see more about the S23's cameras, make sure to check out Isa's channel. You know her, you love her. She's gonna have some great content coming out on that.
A studio is definitely not the ideal place to test out the cameras on this phone. Not everyone works in spaces like this anyway. It's especially tough to test out features like the zoom feature and even the new 200 megapixel sensor. So it's not something I can comment on too much for now. The night selfie video is another one we couldn't test out without hiding behind that curtain. But if what Samsung promises holds up, these night selfie videos should have better noise and grain control than before. So if you're taking it with you to a party, or a bar, or a mix of both, you'll be able to capture your favorite moments without missing a beat. And what's important is that Samsung says the cameras should be compatible with your favorite third-party apps like Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. Although, we're still clarifying with them if it means you'll be able to see these improvements natively in these apps, or if you'll still have to shoot in the default camera app and import those clips to notice the difference. I'll take note of that in the description when we hear back from them. Now, if you're wondering why I lumped the S Pen in this part of the video, I'm going to talk more about that not-so-secret feature of this stylus. It's actually a handy remote shutter for your camera. It lets you toggle between the different camera modes with varying degrees of success though. But that means you don't have to touch the camera itself when you're shooting. This is so useful for solo content creators like me, or if you just want to be included in the group shots without having to rush to get to your place. But that isn't the only trick the S Pen offers. I want to talk to you more about it and the other UI stuff in the next part of this video. The Samsung Galaxy S23 series runs on the newest One UI 5 operating system, which gives you more customization options on this phone. You can now have videos on your lock screen, make stickers out of your photos, and access even more diverse emoticons and emojis. Those first two are my new favorite things really. I love adding videos on my Flip 4's cover screen, so I'm happy that the main display on One UI 5 devices like the Ultra now support this. The sticker feature is another one I've had a lot of fun playing with. This has already started rolling out to other One UI 5 devices, but it feels the most natural to use on a Samsung phone with an S Pen. Turning your photos into stickers means you draw the outline on the object or person you want to turn into a meme, and using a pen is just an easier, more natural way to do just that. If you're the type of person who prefers to write, doodle, or scribble, the S Pen on the Ultra gives you that flexibility. This time around, it now supports Google's suite of apps. So if you'd rather write down a message than type it out, the S23 Ultra can auto-convert your writing into text. Now, when it comes to text extraction, it's also smarter now. If you select something with a date on the S Pen, it can suggest to you to add it to your calendar. This is definitely something I'd want to try out more. Samsung only had a handful of cases at the venue, but there were different kinds of cases. There was a hard case with a card case on the back, a silicone one that matches the lavender color of the new phones, and one with a built-in phone strap for my fellow Butterfinger users out there. Samsung has definitely gotten me excited over the many different ways you can customize the new Galaxy S23 Ultra to suit your lifestyle. But I have barely scratched the surface of what you can do with this phone, so I'm hoping to get extended time with it soon so we can talk about that more.
If you've made it to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out to watch this. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, what you like about it, what you don't, and what kind of content you'd want to see on it, or even the rest of the S23 series. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to this channel. This will definitely help us to make more videos like this for you. Again, I'm Nicole for Lit. I hope to see you next time. Bye!